Alright, one day, I was sitting at my house, I was playing Call of Duty Modern Warfare on my PC, and my friend Kyle calls me up, and I say, Kyle, what the fuck do you want? I'm in the middle of a match, man. And he says, dude, you're never gonna fucking believe it. The new fucking big ass console just came out. It's called the Xbox Cum Stain. And I'm like, why the fuck did they call it the Xbox Cum Stain, dude? And he says, don't you know? Because it's the size of a cum stain, but it has the power of 1,000,000 Xboxes. And I say, shit, dude, we gotta go get this. And he says, all right, man, but you gotta be careful. There's only one Xbox cum stain in stock. And I'm like, I will do anything I fucking need to, Kyle. So I meet up with Kyle and we're fucking booking it, dude. Running to the store like I ran from the fucking cops. And we get to the store and I see this old ass bitch, this old ass woman, and she's like, I got the Xbox cum stain for my little piece of shit son Benny. And I said, bitch, you're gonna give me that Xbox. And she says, I wouldn't give you that Xbox if you were the last man on earth. And I said, the fuck did you just say to me, bitch? And I started fucking punching her, dude. I just started wailing on her. I wanted that Xbox cum stain. So, I mean, I don't know what the clerk was thinking at the time, but maybe we should let him talk, am I right?
Alright, so I'm standing there, right? Just watching this old lady. She's coming in here buying this fucking Xbox, new Xbox we just got in stock. Fucking kind of shitty looking. It's like a little small circle white. It's like fucking weird. All fucking stoned. But anyway, this little dude comes in, fucking screaming about some cum stain, and fucking starts wailing on this old fat bitch. And he's like, I wanted that shit. And then I called the cops because it's fucking proper procedure just to call the cops if somebody's causing any sort of disturbance or harassment. I called him. I see the blue lights, and the kid takes the fucking cum stain and dashes through the door. He busts right through the glass, goes right through the fucking door, and down the road. I don't really know what happened after that, seeming how I couldn't just leave this old fat bitch laying on the floor at GameStop. So I'm gonna let the kid Terry. I'm gonna let him continue the story from his perspective after running from the op.
Okay, so yeah, so this huge, enormous cop comes in, right? And he's like, what the fuck's going on? And he immediately pulls out his gun, right? And this old lady on the ground, he just fucking shoots her. He's like, was she causing you trouble? And the GameStop employee is like, no, some kid stole the only Xbox cum stain we have. And the police officer is like, bitch, where do you run to with that cum stain? And she says, that way. And then he fucking shoots her and runs after him. Right, so he's just sprinting. He's just sprinting down the hall at like 2 miles per hour because he's just enormous, right? Like he's just fucking plowing through everybody. And it's on the 3rd floor. He's throwing people like down the stairs just to get this Xbox cum stain. And he's almost caught up to Terry, right? And Terry's like, oh shit, I gotta get the X cum stain. I can't live without the Xbox cum stain. I need this cum stain. And he just keeps running, and then he hits a wall, right? There's just a wall there, and he just runs into it, because he's kind of a dumb bitch, right? Because he's just consumed by this cum stain, and then this police officer, he's just gaining on him, and let's let Terry himself see what happens next.
So I'm running from the cop, and I smash into a wall. I was admiring the Xbox cum stain. That craftsmanship was just wow. I had a hard-on, fucking harder than the wall that I smashed into at top speed. So I smash into the wall, and my face looks a lot like my fucking shirt. Ground beef. I'm like, shit, now I know what it feels like when I beat the shit out of people over stuff. And I'm like, fuck, dude, this police, he's coming at me. And I think of the only thing I can. Since I'm a minor, I strip down, I take off all my clothes, and I expose my fully erect penis at the cop. And out of nowhere, Chris fucking Hansen appears, and he says, I understand that you're a cop, sir, but you are not allowed to see a minor in the nude. And this cop, ironically, is taken to fucking jail. And I say, that was close. Kyle, I almost lost my cum stain. And then I realize, I look at Kyle and I say, Kyle, you didn't fucking help me. I had to help my goddamn self. You know what I fucking do to people who don't help me? Yeah, that's right. I beat the shit out of them. Kyle was crying. Kyle was fucking shitting everywhere. Snot coming out of his nose. Snot coming out of the tip of his cock. Snot coming out of his goddamn asshole. He was like a bucket of snot at that point. And I was like, I don't care who told me about the fucking cum stain. If they betray me, they're getting the fucking boot to the head. And I look around to see if there's any fucking witnesses to what has just happened. And if there were, I would let them speak now.
Alright, so about a few hours ago, I was called to a disturbance at fucking GameStop, right? So I drive my fat ass across town, and I see this dead old woman in the store, and I tell the clerk, what the fuck happened? And he said, oh, do you know that other cop? I was like, what other fucking cop? And he was like, oh, he shot the grandma to death. So I asked him who he was. He didn't know his name. So I decided to walk out of the store, and I see this little kid beating the shit out of his friend, right? So I call some fucking backup, right? And I tell them, you get some you get some blue Sour Patch Kids if you come over here. If you get your fat asses over here within 2 seconds. So, of course, they hurry the fuck over because they hear they're going to get fucking blue Sour Patch Kids, right?
Why did you kick him?
So, they all pull their guns out, right? And this is what, they'll pull their guns out, right? Lasers at the fucking ready. And then Joe Biden comes out behind the wall and he's like, guys, let's settle this another way, right? Joe Biden.
Why did you hide the room?
Comes up to the kid and
We
tells
need more
him
people.
Alright, so basically, I'm just sitting there, stoned as fuck. There's another cop come up, and I'm like, dude, the grandma just got fucking shot. So he's like, yeah, we know. We need you to shut down the store ASAP. So I shut down the store, and I go into this guy's cop car. The fucking cop car starts zooming after this little fucking kid, and he's butt-ass naked with his dick flapping in the fucking air. And I'm like, dude, I can't see that. He's a fucking minor. And the cop's like, dude, yeah, it's okay. And now we're sitting there chasing this fucking butt-ass naked kid. He starts fucking shitting on the ground. He leaves a shit trail. The cop car started slipping and drifting on the fucking milky shit, dude. It looked like toothpaste.
Here, you can go next.
Literally, I fucking blacked out. I was so confused. But the cop still continues to drive through this shit puddle and slinging shit all over the place. All over this fat cop that slipped in shit. And then I just hit my head on the window, blacked out, and that's all I saw for the next maybe hour and a half. I'm gonna let Terry continue this.
So I'm running from the fucking police. They really want this Xbox cum stain. They want to take it from me. Clearly, the Chris Hansen trick wasn't going to work on these two. So I tried my only other natural defense. I start shitting. I remember, oh, my mom hates me. She slipped X-Lax into my fucking soda earlier. So I start shitting the milkiest, foulest concoction you will ever smell or see. And that car did exactly what I wanted it to. It started sliding, it started drifting, it almost hit like 7 people. and I was like, this is awesome. At this rate, I'm getting away. I'm escaping with my Xbox cum stain, and I'm going to play Black Ops on it all fucking night, dude. I was so ready. But then, out of fucking nowhere, a second police car arrives. I didn't know police could call for fucking backup while they're in cars. It was unfair, that's what it was. Multiple cops going after just me. Fucking Terri. And I'm like, I don't need this shit. My face is bleeding, gushing fucking blood. There's blood and shit behind me as I'm running. And I'm like, I realize I don't need to take this shit from cops. I am Terri. I was friends with Obama in a different fucking life. What do I need to listen to the police for? So I duck down into the nearest shack I can find, and I'm huddled in there, waiting for the cops to drive by, when I feel this hand touch my shoulder. And I gotta admit, not that much ever fucking scares me, but that scared the shit out of me. I turn around, and it's this old woman, and she looks like she's been on meth for the past 15 fucking years, and she says, "Come here, little boy, I would like to fondle you." And I'm like, bitch, no. And, you know, I was scared at that point. She took a syringe out of her fucking pocket and stabbed it into me. And I gotta admit, I screamed. I don't know what happened next. I was probably convulsing, foaming at the mouth while being pegged in the backside by a fucking crack fiend. So I don't know what happened, but maybe somebody else did.
Alright, so this kid walks into my fucking shed and he's going ape shit, right? So I pull out my syringe, you know, trying to put him to sleep and everything, give him some laughing gas. He freaks the fuck out, tries to punch the shit out of me, so I stab it into his ass crack. He freaks out, passes out. I call the cops, right? They pull up to the shed. They walk in. They see this kid, right? And they say, "What did you do to him?" I'm like, "What the fuck are you talking about? That's the kid that beat the shit out of the grandma at GameStop." And he thought I was the fucking grandma. So then I got arrested, right? I end up at the police station. He's questioning me and shit. And one of the questions was, "Why were you buying that Xbox cum stain?" And I tell him, my grandson Billy wanted to play Black Ops 4, right? Then he decides to call fucking Microsoft about this shit, because that was the only Xbox cum stain available. So then Bill Gates gets on the line and he says this.
Bill Gates says he's
Fucking ban this kid.
Okay, so Bill Gates is like, "Hello, ma'am. What seems to be the problem with our newest project, the Xbox cum stain?" And she's like, "Okay, my grandson Billy just wanted to play Black Ops 4 on this new Xbox cum stain, and this little kid just came and beat the shit out of me, right?" And so later he runs into my shack, and like, I thought I was dead. I got shot by a police officer, right? And he comes into my shack, I'm like just recovering, right? And he just like scares me, you know, he just jumps out at me. So I just stab him with my heroin syringe. And he just starts freaking out and screaming. And then Bill Gates is like, "Okay, ma'am, I can make you one more Xbox cum stain for your son Billy." And she's like, "Oh, thank you so much, Billy Gates." And then he ships it to the shack. And but then Terri finds out about this second Xbox cum stain, and he feels like he has to do something about it.
So I wake up in a cold, damp place. I walk out. I ended up in a fucking cave. I don't know what the hell that crack fiend did to me, how long I was out for, but all I knew is that I was pissed. I checked my secret hiding space which was my urethra, to make sure that my Xbox cum stain was still perfectly hidden away. And thank God it was. I was so scared for a second. I thought that shit was gonna be gone. I thought that fucking crack fiend would have dug it right out of there, leaving it a bloody fucking mess. But I was able to get the cum stain out with no injuries. And I walk out of the cave, and I find the nearest mailbox. I want to know what's happened. I want to know what time it is. And you know what the fuck I read? First Xbox cum stain goes missing. Bill Gates makes a second one. And I'm red in the fucking face. There are veins bulging out of every square inch of my body. I'm about to burst into just a pool of blood on the sidewalk. And I say, what the fuck? Bill Gates made a second cum stain. I was so pissed off that I wasn't going to be the only person in the world to own a cum stain. But then I paused for a second and I thought, if the Xbox cum stain has more power than 600 Xbox Ones, imagine the power I would have with 2 Xbox cum stains. That would be enough power to power the entire fucking world. So I'm like, I need to find this crack fiend. I don't know where I am anymore. I could be in Washington. I could be in fucking Somali, about to be bombed in maybe Iraq. I don't fucking know. So I ask a guide. I ask the nearest guide. Hello, sir. 1, where am I and where can I find the Xbox cum stain? And this is what he says.
So this little kid comes up to me and he asks me, where could you get the Xbox cum stain, right? So I have a box in hand and I just tell him, this is actually a secret delivery, right? And I gotta go to that house right over there. And I point straight to the fucking grandma's house. He gets pissed off thinking the grandma is gonna give the Xbox cum stain to her grandson Billy. So he starts fucking wailing on me. I drop the cum stain and it snapped in half. Right? And he gets pissed off even more. So he throws the Xbox cum stain at the grandma through the grandma's fucking window. It's already busted, so she can't even give it to her grandson, right? The grandma, the Xbox lands right in her fucking eye and she died. Then 911 was called by her neighbor again, and the fucking emergency van pulled up, and this is what the doctor said.
So, basically, I arrived on scene after dispatch told me to show up to this domestic disturbance, which ended up in this old lady being completely decapitated by a box that said cum stain on it. After that, I started attempting to revive the old lady, which was procedure, even though her head was fucking gone. The shit was gone. And so I started doing CPR on just her head, just so everybody thought that I was actually trying to work on her. When this fucking naked kid, who looks like he's been in a fucking desert for 3 years, starts coming in and like projectile vomiting blood and diarrhea. Somehow he vomited fucking-rhea, and he started coming in spraying that shit all over the room, and it started pissing me off. So I hopped back in my ambulance. I dipped the fuck out of there, and then they called me back for a fucking second time, and he literally started fucking pissing on me with blood. And then this box falls out, and he starts screaming about this fucking box that just came out of his dick hole, and he shoves it in there brutally, fucking just destroys his dick, and shoves this box down in there. And then I just left. I went home and went to sleep. I'm gonna let the guy who showed up next on scene, I'm gonna let him continue.
Okay, so I get a call. It's like it's 1 a.m., right? And I get a call and it says like This guy, our other officer, he went missing. The other doctor, he went missing in action. Somehow a doctor just disappeared, right? And so they say, we need you to come and investigate this and try to figure it out. Try to figure out where he went and what's happening in this shack, right? So I arrive and it just smells like shit, right? It smells like projectile vomit. Like it just, you can tell the smell of projectile vomit and like vomited diarrhea, you know, like shit vomit. You know, and I'm like, what the hell is going on, right? And there's this grandma, and she's decapitated, and her head's like across the room, right? And he's just picking up this box, and he says, you better stay out of this. And then he just pulls down his pants, right? And he just shoves the box in his urethra, and he's like, 2 down, 1 to go. And I say, what are you talking about? And he says, I know there's another cum stain out there. And I say, I don't know what you're talking about. And he says, I know that you're really Bill Gates, but let's let him say what happened next.
So I pulled down my pants at this fucking guy who's trying to pry, like a little bitch, he's trying to pry the cum stain from me. And I'm saying, I know who the hell you are, buddy. You're Bill fucking Gates in disguise. You're not fooling me. I recognize the stench of 1,000 liters of gamer anywhere. And I punched the shit out of this guy. And to my surprise, my instincts were wrong. He wasn't Bill Gates. He was, in fact, Bill Gates' twin brother, Gil Gates. And I said, shit, dude, this is Gil Gates. All he fucking made was the Xbox shit piss. And the Xbox shit piss was a giant fucking failed handheld console. I don't want the shit piss. I want the cum stain. So I need to find a way, any way, to fucking find Bill Gates. So I call up my most reliable homie, my main man, Chris. Chris, he's never wronged me before in his life. Me and Chris have been together since the beginning. Way longer than stupid Kyle. So I call up Chris and I say, Ayo, Chris, help me track down Bill Gates, will ya, in one more expedition. And this is what he says to me.
Alright, so my boy Terry calls me, and he asks if there's a way we could catch Bill Gates, right? So I look into my garage, and I see my flying scrotum machine, and I tell him, oh, there's a way, trust me. Meet me at my house on 69th Street. Says, alright, throws the fucking phone out the window, and he sprints to the house. However, I didn't know he was across the street. He comes in like a fucking projectile through my window, and I'm like, good old Terry. So I take him to the garage, right? We get in the flying scrotum machine. It smells like fucking fish in there. So I fly, right? We raise our altitude. We go into fucking space with this shit. Because Bill Gates, he isn't on Earth. He's a fucking lizard man. So we had to go to fucking Mars, man. Right? Get on Mars, go to the fucking ice cap. We land the scrotum machine. Scrotum machine freezes and we're stuck inside of it. So Terry pisses his fucking blood on the wall of the scrotum machine and it unfreezes the door so we can get the fuck out. Right? And we see this giant mound of snow with a lizard's tail sticking out. I'm like, oh shit, we know who the fuck this is. Right? So then I pull on the tail, right? I rip it out of the snow, and there's the man himself, Bill fucking Gates. Terry was looking pissed the fuck off, right? So Bill Gates, he fixes his tie and tells Terry this before he pummels him.
Alright, so basically, I'm chilling there as a lizard, chilling in my fucking snow dome, little nigloo thing, and this fucking spaceship looking shit looks dressed, it's in the shape of a it's in the shape of a cock. It just lands on my planet, and my tail's peeking out, so I'm a little scared. So they might see me. So I stand up, and there's this fucking naked kid. I've heard a lot about him. He stole my previous cum stain console, and now he's sitting there staring at me, eye to eye. So I fix my tie, looking intimidated, and this kid starts just going ape shit. So I told him, I said, "Listen, I'm not gonna make any more consoles, in your honor." And he starts going fucking eight wall, beating my ass, just turning my ass black and blue. He just starts fucking my shit up, and I blacked out, didn't know what the fuck was going on, and I was out of it. I was a lizard man, didn't know what the fuck to do. So I'm gonna let Terry, the guy who beat the fuck out of me, continue with what he did.
So I'm beating the fuck out of Bill Gates, and I gotta admit, it felt fucking great. This guy had put me through so much torment. I had to expose myself to a grown man. I had to turn my face into ground beef. I had to piss blood onto a giant cock so we could leave a fucking ice planet. And this is just the most satisfying experience I will ever have in my life, is beating the shit out of that literal cum stain Bill Gates. He couldn't have picked a better name for his console, because it was him. He was a cum stain. I ripped off his fucking tail, and I said, he started screaming like a little bitch because I ripped off his tail, and I said, you can grow a new fucking tail. Don't be a little pussy. So I grabbed the tail, and I eat that shit raw in front of his eyeballs. The blood from his tail dripping into his eyeballs. And I say, you, Bill Gates, will give me 5 Xbox cum stains, or I will keep you locked up in my room and eat your tail forever and forever. And he says, Terry, don't do this. I know you can be better than this, Terry. And I say, Bill, I can't be better after what you fucking did to me. After all this hell you've put me through just to get my fucking console. The console that I've been wanting for a whole few hours now. This is great. I'm finally gonna get home, plug it into my TV, and play some Black Ops 4 when suddenly...
All right, so I get an emergency call from Bill Gates' fucking Alexa, right? He says, Alexa, intruder alert. And my phone starts going off. I pull up my phone, right? And he says, get the fuck over to my ice planet right now, bitch. So I say, okay, I'll get the fuck over there. So, right, I get in my fucking Amazon drone. It grabs me by the skull, takes me to the ice planet. Took about 5 or 10 minutes, give or take. So I get on the planet. I walk into his igloo. This kid is taking a shit in Bill Gates' mouth. And he's pissed off because he can't get any more cum stains. He can't get cum stains, so his friends can't play Black Ops 4 with him every night. So, anyways, I'm an EA representative, right? And he started playing Black Ops 4, and that shit went offline for him. So he starts getting pissed off. He sees me walk through the door. He fucking glares at me with them bloody ass eyes. And I give him a business proposal. And I'm saying, kid, if you don't lock Bill Gates in your fucking room for eternity, I can give you unlimited Black Ops 4 pointless points. And he's thinking, oh shit, I can show off with my fucking friends, right? I can get all the fucking pussy with these Todd skins. So I give him the deal. And of course, Brian comes up to me, he slaps me and says, he's not gonna fucking sell out to that shit. He already has enough pussy. He can't even get any more. He's got all the pussy in the world. What would you even need to do with Bill Gates? So I admit that I was Bill Gates' wife, right? I'm his fucking hubby. So Terry gets pissed off because he realizes if I give him the points, I'm just going to divorce with Bill Gates and get all the Xbox cum stains for myself. So he'd actually receive nothing. So this is what he did to me after that.
So, you know, I hate being tricked. I was here looking at the face of Bill Gates' wife, and she was saying, I'll give you all the points you could ever want. And I said, that does sound tempting. And I could see her eyes light up. She really thought that this plan was gonna work. She thought she was gonna go through with it and get away with it. She thought she was going to pull a fast one on the Terri. The same Terri who started a fucking Sour Patch Kids drug trade. And I said, just fucking kidding. You know that shit's not gonna work on me. And I gotta admit, she was caught off guard. She was like, what the fuck is he talking about and how does he know? And I say, bitch, you gotta remember, Terri is always 3 steps ahead. And suddenly, out of fucking nowhere, she is shot through the skull and her body falls to the ground. And you wanna know who walks in holding a fucking sniper rifle? It's Chris. We high five and I say, Chris, you did well today, man. You came through like I know you would every fucking day. We gotta get off this planet. The sped feds, they're gonna come looking for us any minute, Chris. And Chris says, I know. They're already on their way. I was able to get here about 15 minutes before them. And I'm like, let's get out of here, Chris. We're walking away. We hop into the fucking scrotum mobile, the fucking scrotum machine, the magnum opus of cocks. And we fly ourselves back to my fucking house. And you know what Chris says? He says, Terri, I'm glad we made it out of this, but it's just sad we couldn't get the Xbox cum stain. And I say, Chris, you don't know me at all. And suddenly, my still naked body produces the fucking cum stain out of my cock once more. And I'll admit, it was along with a little bit of blood, and it was painful. But god damn it, if it wasn't satisfying for me and Chris to sit all night playing Black Ops 4 together until the sun fucking rose in my house, then nothing would ever be sacred in this world. And that is the story of how I, Terri, owned the only Xbox cum stain in the world.